Hola amigos, bien o no, y saludos desde Medellín. Otro día tan maravilloso aquí, ¿no? Mucho sol. Entonces, el tema de hoy es para recuerdo a pensar si hay siempre una manera diferente de decirlo algo. Ese es el tema de hoy. So, hello again from Medellin, another fantastic day we've had here today. Definitely in the 30 degrees plus today. Even now in the afternoon it's still well in the high 20s, but hardly a cloud in the sky. Look at that. Isn't that marvellous? So the theme of the day is, again, looking at our sense of improving our fluency. One of the things to remember always is to be mindful of and to be thinking about, is there another way I could say that? So all the things you're looking to say, and when you're listening as well, listen for how people phrase things. Because you'll be surprised, there's a great deal of variance in the way people phrase even quite commonplace things like how they say hello and good morning to people. Different people have different ways of saying that. So once you start getting conscious of, is there a different way I could say that? And why would that way be better or worse? You know, what's different about saying it that way? What's the difference? This is going to make you much more conscious of not so much what you're saying, but how you're saying it. And that's going to help make the difference for you starting to sound a bit more fluid, because it should be expanding your range of ways of saying things. So you don't always have to say it just exactly the same way. There might be a different word you could use which means almost the same thing but has a slightly more positive implication, or it might be an easier way to express a negative thing. Some words are like that, they have more of a one aspect or another. So have a think about that as your vocabulary starts to expand, and hopefully with the more reading and listening you're doing, you're starting to come across a wider range of phrases on different topics. Start thinking about, okay, well, how could I use that phrase? How could I use that word? Is that one I could use? And when would I use that? When's that different way I could say the same thing? So when you're thinking about preparing new dialogues or practicing ways to say fairly standard stuff in your routine, once you're happy with that, step back from it a bit next time you go back to it. I think, okay, now is there a different way I could say it? Is there a different way I could say it? Would there be a reason for me to need to say this differently? And would that be appropriate? Can I think of a different way to say it? Practice that. That's an interesting one to try, because it will help you think again about the vocabulary you have. You might surprise yourself and remember more words than you thought you did know, rather. And see how you go. Because the more you practice different ways of saying basically very similar things, when you're in different situations and you're having to improvise, these are the kind of phrases that your mind has already practiced and will be able to bring to the fore to help you out in those kind of situations. So have a think about that. Once you've practiced one or two phrases and you're happy that's a good way to say it, okay, once you're good with that, think about it. Is there a different way you could say it? And if there is, what would that be and when would you use that? That's the idea for today. So déjame saber en los comentarios, como siempre, how you get on with that one. But for now, from Medellin, It's Cheerio.